What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time dropping in, Tommy Kentner here, and we got
Roberto from Driven Media.
Guys, we're going to be talking about the Skylines today. Just kind of, I get a lot of questions asked about them, so I figured it'd be a good video.
Yeah.
And Roberto's wrote in them,
Yeah.
and mine, Adrian's, and a few. So he's going to join us and give his thoughts on them.
Yeah.
I grew up with this car like on Gran Turismo, playing it as a video game. Never thought I would actually own one, and really never thought, because I looked forever for a midnight purple one. They're extremely hard to find. You can find them like resprays and stuff like that, but I wanted a genuine midnight purple, so it took a little bit longer. And this is the color code is LP2. So, like I said, and it's a Vspec, which is another plus. Which,
right. Pretty much the highest spec.
Yeah.
For the most desired 33, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the highest ones.
Yeah.
But I am glad I waited, because like now, like with all the cars we get in, the doors, you see the door sagging, and it nicks the inside of the paint work and all that. And so it's kind of like, yes, I did wait extremely long amount of time, but now, like looking at the cars we work on, this one is really mint, and it only had about, I think it's got like 111K, so it's like 65, 60,000 miles on it. So really good. This car went from Japan to the UK. Yeah, and it's got all the paperwork with it. So it had coilovers installed in the UK. All the Nismo arms, which I will be, going to like tubular control arms and stuff like that, just because it's nicer and you got more adjustability. But I can always put the Nismo arms on the wall.
Right.
If you do have a Skyline and you're watching this video, do not trash anything, because like we had an R33 that we replaced the bezel for the radio. And it being cracked is still like $500.
Wow.
Because people just plastic weld them and then spray them, and because some of the parts you just can't find for them. So anything in any condition that it's there in front of you that can be reconditioned is worth a lot of money. And we kind of hoard everything that's RB and all of that.
Yeah.
So.
Like you told me this the other day, and you're completely right. If it's got those 3 letters, it's going to be expensive. We were looking at just random parts like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000.
Right.
I was like, what is going on?
Yeah. So these headlights, they got a brand new set on eBay is $20,000. Just these set,
Think about that.
Like these are like in the condition these are, like, because I've seen like a busted set for over $10,000. So
you could buy a nice used Subaru for that price, for the price of just the headlights.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it's crazy. But I will say, like, I've owned the 17 GTR, and this one's like pretty relatively stock with just a few bolt-ons, and I mean, it's just got like this extra cool factor. Like, I really do like it, and I love my 17, but I don't know, like this one just it kind of checks all the boxes, because the only downside of that car, which is not a downside really, but it's just not a manual, but it is ultra fast. So you got your vice versa. But to me, it's like this is kind of like the 90s throwback that just has nostalgia that just
Nissan just hit it out of the park. Like it just had so much tech that really, like I would say, in the last 15 years it's become standard, but for the time, think about what it was coming,
Oh yeah. So, and then the RB's kind of got its own flaws, but I think a lot of companies like Platinum Racing Products, just everybody, and there's so much R&D that's been done on these engines to kind of make it what they are, and I think it's kind of like just the power delivery is just so different, like between what other cars that we've had and stuff like that. And I don't know, I mean, I really enjoy it. We've had couple customers that would come in here and do a few mods, and they're just, you know, ecstatic about it. And so, like I said, and then we got the Peter silver car that we're doing a full build on, and he's really excited to get it back too. So, and guys, there's videos of that on the channel already, so if you want to go check those out after this video. But I mean, like, I think it's such a cool platform, because it's like, however many we get in the States, you probably won't see one that's the same.
Right. And it's not a huge amount of power, but like he's saying, is how it delivers the power that it's like really impressive, because all he has on his is like a catback and an intake.
Yeah.
And it felt like a full bolt-on STI.
Yeah.
To be like completely reliable for multiple years, and all that. But I mean, that's what 2 extra cylinders and an extra turbo will do, I guess.
Yeah. And I do got a built motor.
Yeah.
So it will be single turbo soon.
Yeah. That's it's just like a really interesting way of going about it, instead of, you know, bigger turbo, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's just,
yeah, and I mean, you can legitimately like strap a single turbo on this motor as is and make 600 pretty reliable. There is some stuff with the blocks that they want you to kind of like, when you do a block, you need to measure like cylinder like density or like wall thickness, and they just want it to be like around or they just wanting 3 mil, but I guess it varies because of the castings, like 1 to 3.
Right.
And that's where you'll get your problems, because then you'll have like the main problem is where the diff runs through it. It kind of torques the block, so then that way it cracks the cylinder. Which
is a shame, but you got to think about, they were basically the first people to put an all-wheel drive system into a straight 6 the way how they did, and so it makes sense that they had a fall. But you know, that's not to say 600 horsepower all-wheel drive.
Right.
Skyline is a slow car,
No.
So it's really once you get to like that like crazy next level that you want to beat like 1,000 horsepower cars, that's when you start seeing like the really big money that you really got to drop in.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, you do what Tommy's saying, like, you know, bigger single turbo, and you're gonna have all kinds of fun for multiple years. You know, so it's really when you know, I guess it is what they say, like, you gotta pay to play. You know?
Yeah, and then they do make block braces and stuff like that to try to counteract it. And I think it's probably more due to how the power's delivered. Like, you just want to kind of like roll it out as farther as you can, like just kind of make it real linear, and then pour it on up top, like, instead of just bring it on real fast.
Yeah.
Because that way it don't twist it and, well, end up with a cracked cylinder.
Right.
But I mean, I've seen people get real good powers out of them. Motive. I mean, they really rocked the stock block, and I think they even did like a 9-second.
Really?
On
wow,
stock
that's
motor.
impressive.
Yeah,
that's very impressive.
I mean,
it's big power.
Not 9.9, but it's still a 9.
Yeah, still 9.
So
0.1 makes a difference.
Yeah. I mean, you can, you know, and you only hear about the bad stories. You never hear about the good. So,
yeah.
And I feel like Motive had a really good run, and they actually, if you're in RVs and you didn't know about their channel, check them out
for sure.
Because they kind of break down the steps to get to that 9 seconds or whatever, and single turbo, guys, single turbo.
Single turbo on just about anything.
Yeah.
I've never really been an RB guy. I love JZs. Like, that's just always. I'm a Toyota guy, really.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense that was it for me. But you know, when you think about all the traction you're gonna have with the all-wheel drive, like, yeah, you could have more power rear-wheel drive on a Supra or something like that, but it's another level. You know, it's one thing to have the power, another thing to be able to put it down.
Yeah.
If you can put it down, that's a completely different difference. You know, completely different game.
And that's part of the problem, because, like I said, the front diff runs through the block or through the oil pan.
Yeah.
So, and then that puts extra strain on the engine, because it's doing whatever it can do to, to supply power to the wheels, which usually if you're dropping a lot of power, some things get out of.
But that's normal for any chassis,
Oh,
really.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
once you hit
and I
certain
think-
power, something's bound to break.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, like there's really not a perfect chassis. Like everything's got their own issues. You
Yeah,
know?
100%.
Yeah. So, guys, if you are interested in more Skyline talk, or you know, just a subject about the RVs or anything, drop a comment below. Let us know, and we'll kind of discuss it in the next video. But hit that subscribe button, drop us a like if you like this video, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.